it's been raining for a couple hours now. Sure enough, that Veterans Canal, it's high. It's all the way up to the, look at that. Look how high the canal is. It's all the way to the top. I think it's higher than it was in my other video. I mean, most of the rain's gone by now. I'm gonna try to turn these wipers on faster so you can see, but yeah, that canal's all the way up to the top. Normally it's like 10 or 15 feet lower than the road. Wow. So I guess anyone from the area would know where I'm at. I'm at Veterans in Metairie, and right across from the old swamp room. I'm by the Canal Billery, Rouse's, now Cons, whatever that is. Kalima Car Wash. Old Radio Shack that's been empty for years. How high that water is. Wow. Wow, that's really high. Can't even see the top of the culvert. They actually had the light at Green Acres off yesterday. I don't know why. Check out look at the Bissonnette Canal. How high the water is in the Bissonnette Canal. Then it goes into, ties into the Suburban Canal, which is the Sonyat, and they tie in together and then go up to the lake up here. It's a little bit, it's about a mile down where that happens. A little bit of puddling, really nothing in the streets. Then again, Veterans is higher. Might be able to turn these down just a little bit. Wait. Yeah, Veterans is a little bit higher than the most of the streets on the side. I think by Oaklawn it does have a tendency to kind of pond water a little bit. I don't really like being in this middle lane. I was only in this lane just to show the high water on the canal. I need to turn these wipers on faster. Oh, looks like someone had a breakdown. Oh man. Brand new Hyundai. I wonder what that's about. Brand new. It has the dealer's right there, so they must have been test driving it. Remember when it was a used to be Celebration Station years ago, which was a what you call it, like a way nicer Chuck E. Cheese. Look at that down there in that right lane. Yeah, it used to be called Celebration Station. Nah, low spot. These low cars can make it. I definitely can. But damn, that's a little low spot. I'm sure they could put a drain in. They had to redo the road. I'm sure they could put a drain in the middle underneath, but then it would be a bump in one of the lanes. Then they'd have to run the lines for it and everything. But anyway, yeah, it used to be a Celebration Station, which was a theme park. Not theme park, what you call it? Sorry, I'm distracted by just looking around and everything. Alright, so it used to be a place like with go-karts and an arcade inside and everything, and then that closed, I don't know, like 2005-ish. Then it was empty for a while. It became this beautiful little mines. They moved on David Drive. It was like a daycare. Just a huge building for a daycare, and that ended up getting torn down and replaced with or they remodeled the building or something and somehow made it into a Lincoln dealer, Marshall Brothers Lincoln, and then they lost their dealership rights or something, so they ended up show what's going on over there. They ended up with, yeah, they lost that. We didn't have a Lincoln dealer down here for like 7 or 8 years. I think Lamarck up here started selling it. It's just a East Jefferson levee board thing going by. I mean, that's why the camera pointing off. But yeah, we ended up having that, and that became the Hyundai dealer. And now we took over the one on Causeway. Looks like they're redoing Big Lots. Little racer Honda Civic. I guess I'll just stay in this lane. I'm going to turn on Williams. I'm going to turn on Williams, and I'm going to take that to Airline and go back up Airline. Higher ground than this. David Drive. Lexus dealer. Academy, formerly known as Walmart. Looks like a new Lexus is getting towed. Oh, they have police up here. It must be either a little accident or a signal light or something not working right. Wonder what's going on. It used to be Walmart. Walmart moved over here. Former Ray Brand Toyota. I'm near you to the other lane because I can't see the stripes. Louisiana Purchase Buffet. I don't like buffets. They kind of... I don't eat much, so I tend to lose money on them. I'm upset about that when that used to be O'Henry's. Oops. Yep. Infinity somehow ended up in that median. I bet you it was he trying to pull out in traffic and didn't have good tires. And he probably did like a Mustang style full send over the curb because it's rear wheel drive. Some wet roads with a rear wheel drive, relatively powerful car like a G35 or a M35 or whatever that was, the Infinity. You'll kind of power slide. If you look up, you see what I mean, if you look up on YouTube videos, if you look up Mustang fails, you pretty much, right there, it's kind of an idea of how that can happen. Alright, now we're in Kenner. Roosevelt. Put the map on. And it's dark. You can see where we're at. We're at Kenner. We're at the intersection of Veterans and Roosevelt. We'll just leave it pointing at the map for a sec. The light turns green and we may go. Yeah, it came down a bad storm earlier and it kind of slacked off some. I always like that building. That glass building right there. Office building. It's been there like 20 years, I guess. Never been there. I showed the one in town a while back where I talked about it. Chick-fil-A. Before Chick-fil-A used to be just the thing that we had in Esplanade Mall, and then they opened one down there at Cleary and Vets, and one way or another we ended up with all of these now. They got one on Veterans, one in Elmwood on Clearview, and that one right there. So you got 3 Chick-fil-A's within 10 minutes. The one in Esplanade Mall is actually out of business now, and there might be one in Lakeside Mall, because before, up until like 7 or 8 years ago, you had to go to the mall to get Chick-fil-A. And when my sister lived in Monroe at the Thomas Road exit, they had a Chick-fil-A, it looked like it used to be like a little Rallies or something, a little small drive up, no inside eating. And it looked like they just converted it to a Chick-fil-A, and then I thought that was really cool. And the last time we went up there, it was, it had been rebuilt like all the other Chick-fil-A's. I remember back in the 80s, my mom was saying something about to go to Chick-fil-A, you used to have to go to Lake Forest Plaza in New Orleans East back in the early 80s. It's the only way you could get a fried chicken sandwich. What was I going to tell you? Okay, you're talking to the video. Alright, I just remembered, highest grossing Chick-fil-A. I remember seeing this on the news right before I moved back down here in Madison, Mississippi, a suburb of Jackson, about 10 minutes north of Jackson. Cute little town there. They actually had their Chick-fil-A was closed down. And then they did the one in Gulfport right after. They had the entire store closed down for like 3 months, 2 or 3 months, and they renovated it, and they had to kind of give the other workers that work there hours at other sites, so everyone can kind of still get their work hours. That store was I think they said that that's the highest grossing Chick-fil-A profit-wise in the South was in Madison, Mississippi. And they had one Chick-fil-A, get this, they had 130 employees at one Chick-fil-A. I don't even know what the schedule looks like there. I couldn't imagine that. I mean, it's 130, and it's not like a 24-hour place or anything. You're only open like, what, 7 in the morning to 9 at night? They don't really have the longest of hours. You know, they're not a midnight to 4, 8, you know, like a Taco Bell open 22 hours a day. So, I really don't know what their deal is, but 130 employees, only 6 days a week. They're not open Sunday. So that's like 6 days a week, like 17-hour days. So you got like 17, I'm sure some prep work involved. So up to like 18 or 19 working hours a day and only 6 days a week. So that's there must be easily 30, 40 employees at one any time. I'm guessing 20, 30 employees. I mean, even at our wash, we only have like 15 people working there. And 15, 16, and that's at the busier Slidell location. And even then, that's almost too much. And some days we get called off and all. But, yeah, so sometimes we'll have a round of people get hired and don't work for a few days, and there's all these new names on there. I'm like, okay, who are these people? And it takes me forever to get phone numbers so I can contact them. Like, I actually had to contact someone the other day to take my shift so I could get my alternator put in. And it was raining anyway. Alright. Just some popos. Alright. Alright, we're on Williams. We're on Williams, and we are in Kenner. Sylvester's. That used to be Jukebox Diner, and then it became a taco place, and I think I saw online that it's supposed to become a Gerald's Donuts, which is a Chalmette, kind of like Joe's Cafe out here. They have a place called Gerald's Donuts in Chalmette, and it's actually a really good little place. Since and we kind of need that since Dot's Diner down here has been kind of slowly getting rid of some of their locations, and they've been hasn't really been that great the past several years. And then now they're closing at like 8:30 at night, which really the only incentive to go there was because they were open late. But you know, kind of the same thing for Walmart for me. I haven't been to Walmart in 6 months because I always used to go at like midnight when no one was in there. But they're going to close at 8:30 at night. I have no use for Walmart. On top of that, there's not really that many Walmarts around here. There's one on Veterans, one on Clearview, and one way in the back of North Kenner. So we're not like Mississippi where you got a Walmart every 5 minutes, you know? You know, if you need a store, you go to a grocery store. If you need a regular store, you go to Kmart until they close them. There used to be a gas station. I'm going to do a video series around here. I'm thinking, oh, like what used to be somewhere. Like what used to be, you know, like just show what used to be different buildings and all. Because the buildings aren't new. Most, like 99% of the structures around here are the same old structures, but Fong's Chinese restaurant, I think they're finally out of business. It used to be good, but when the Tommy Fong died, like Katrina time, then this other Chinese place right there, Young's Garden, they actually arsoned it. The rival restaurant, they actually burned that one down, from what I hear. And something about they were killing dogs and serving dogs or something too. Alright, now we're getting to my old neighborhood now. Williams, West Metairie area. Oh, trees. Now we're getting close to where the Pan Am crashed. Just made, July 9th, it just made 38 years. That plane was almost hitting the power lines right here, scraping the trees, and it crashed and exploded about 3 blocks over that way, and it killed 153 people. I know a lot of people that were there on the scene 5 minutes later. I know a relative of mine actually, his car stalled on West Metairie, and had his car not stalled, he would have been crushed by that plane falling on him. stalled. He couldn't get it to start at the stop sign. Waited about a minute or two, kept trying to get it to start. Looked up, saw an explosion, and a minute later his car started right up. I guess it was some kind of divine intervention or something. He was meant to live that next year. He passed away a year later. He was meant to live one more year, I guess. Lee's, that's a good little place where you can get little fried fish plates, and they have good baked fish. They used to be in here. That used to be a snowball stand where that building is now. Look at that ugly Chevy Aveo. Alright, now we're at the intersection of, what you call it, Williams and, light's turning on me. It wasn't, oops. Looks like there was a wreck down there. High water. High water. Strange. Racetrack, they just built that 7 or 8 years ago. I don't know if there's going to be a Family Dollar or Save-A-Lot, but the stripe in the front kind of says it's going to either be a Family Dollar or a Save-A-Lot. That used to be in, it used to be a flea market. Not Jefferson Flea Market, I can't remember the name of it, something like that. Where you can get your cheap tires, $35 or something, you can get a used tire. I've done that, back when I used to have a bunch of little, back when I used to have a few cars I didn't really maintain or drive that much, I used to just do that, but I'd do it again if something happened to one of these tires, if it took me a few days to get a real tire, but if the spares can handle what you're going to do with it, it'd be alright. That guy's still stuck in that transmission. He's been stuck in that thing for like 40 years from what I hear. Eleanor Milner. It's the company that makes the industrial washers and dryers. I actually saw them delivering up in Brookhaven, Mississippi one time before. Now we're at Fillmore, Roosevelt. It's the name of that street. Fillmore on the left and Roosevelt on the right. Now we're crossing back into Metairie. Bryan Chevrolet, former Bryan Chevrolet, now it's called Matt Bowers. I don't know who that guy is. He's kind of, oh, look at that awning messed up. He's got a dealer over in Mobile area, Spanish Fort, Eastern Shore, whatever you call it. See the old mausoleum on that side. That's a bad neighborhood from what I hear. That side of the, between here and there is a community called, on the other side of this subdivision, there's some railroad tracks about half a mile away, and then past that's an area called River Ridge. River Ridge is a safe area, but very, very safe area, but this part right here, it's a kind of a little ghetto neighborhood. It's been that way for a long time. Oops, we got lights out up here at, what you call it? North Leicester Street or something. I'm actually planning on turning off. We've got a light out at North, what is that, like North Leicester or something? I can't beat them. Shoot, I would, if it wasn't wet, I would. Okay, he went around me. Alright, I just felt bad blocking him. I'm okay with waiting a minute, but it's like someone lost a fender liner. Alright, I'm gonna pull over up in here. M.A. Green Shopping Center. Right here, yeah. Yeah, because they have that little store, it's called Leicester Discount or something. And, it's kind of a weird neighborhood because it's like both kind of good and bad right in this area. Yeah, Leicester Discount in the look at that Dodge Challenger down there. Just looking for attention. Yeah. Alright guys, rainy day. I think the rain's moving out. They said it was sunny down in Homa, about 40 miles that way. Alright, not much going on, just some high water here and there. I figure I'll just make a little driving video. Alright guys, y'all take care. I'm going to end it right here.